Off the Plasterer.
Good evening, viewers, and welcome to
Off the Plasterer.
with me, Eric the Plasterer. Hey. Started bang on 7 tonight. Yeah, look at that. That hasn't happened before. I am Eric the Plasterer. This is Ask the Plasterer, and I'm here to answer any of your plastering related questions. I've been a plasterer in South London for the last 37 years, and yeah, I know quite a lot when it comes to plastering, but not everything. This channel is for time-served spreads. It's for DIYers, newbie plasterers that are new on the block, guys that are looking at getting into plastering, whether they're young guys or older guys, or looking for a career change, something like that. But yeah, if you've got any questions that you want to ask, then you can ask me. Yeah, live news. It's not really news. Yeah, right. Halloween's out the way. Firework night's coming, and then it's only 54 days till Christmas. And lads, that means we've got 53 days before we have to worry about getting the girlfriend or the missus a present. So don't panic just yet. And all the plasterers, including me, as far as I know, are remaining very busy. So yeah, it's all good stuff. It's all good stuff. In a minute, we'll be popping over to the pub and sit by the old log fire and have a chat in there, because it's a bit nippy here by the old river. So yeah, we're going to move along there. And I suppose now's probably as good a time as any. Hey, there we go. Oh, hang on. Let me know, guys, if the fire crackling in the background or the people get too rowdy in the pub and you can't hear me properly, and I'll turn it down and do something about it. I'll have a moan. Right, okay, kicking straight off. Johnny, 67. Eric, how do I have to leave PVA? How long is that? Should that be? How long do I have to leave PVA before I can go on it? Johnny, me personally, I put me PVA on neat, and I don't go on it until it's dry. So I put my hand on it, touch it. Some guys like going on it when it's tacky. I've had issues when I've done that in the past. I've done neat PVA for donkey's years. I let it dry completely. I've gone over that the same day, the next day, or even a week later, and it's given me no jip whatsoever, Johnny. So my advice to you, neat PVA, let it dry completely, and then off you go. No worries. Zoltar, hello. Nice to see you. Diggity, yeah, my man. You're always there, right on the crack, mate, at 7. Top man. Mark, hello, Mark. Nice to see you, mate. There you go. It should be quite a good evening this evening. I've had a pretty good day, but up to the point I got in and thought, right, let's set up for tonight. And my camera wasn't. Well, my camera was working, but it wasn't coming up. It wasn't showing this mug on this computer. It just wasn't having it. And I'm thinking, I'll tell the guys it might not be on tonight because the old get up's not going. And I was twiddling about, but I had a bit of time, thankfully. Thanks to some extra time, which I'll tell you about that in a minute. And yeah, got it sorted out. So here we are, thankfully. This over on this side here, this are just excerpts, because I haven't done the actual, put the video together completely yet, of the attic I was doing. Absolute lovely job. A pain in the backside, or mostly in the back and the knees, or as you can see in this top one. When you first get on your knees doing stuff like that, you feel fine. 5 minutes later, your back's starting to hurt and your knees, like, even on because there's a bit of old carpet down in there, and your knees were still flipping hurting. Right, hang on, where are we? Zoltar, price of PVA has gone right up. I haven't checked, mate, to be honest. I haven't noticed since the last lot I bought. Ashley, hello mate. 26, okay, thanks Eric. Sorry, 1 coat or 2 coats with the PVA. I only do 1 coat with the PVA, Johnny. Yeah, if it's going on neat, there's no need for a second coat unless you're getting some major suction. But that's I find that quite rare. I'd have to put on a second coat. So it's 1 coat. Zoltar, you and your cream of tartar, splash it out in some some extra time or some half time. You're a tight wad. Yeah, no, I'd hang on, I don't want to miss out on anything I was going to say. Bear with me. Okay, yeah, no, I was the job I had today, I had a box room to do. Some of the guys on a Discord server on my site where we can have a chat. I mean, it's not Ask the Plasterer. I put a picture up on there. I had a box room to do. I was a bit panicky that I was going to get it finished in time and get back to set up for tonight. And something I haven't done before. I know a lot of other guys have, but as I'm getting older, I like to take it easy. Although it's a box room, it was a fairly big box room with a curved ceiling. It had a vent in the wall with a brick in it. It was about 2 inches back, and I've got some half time. I knew it was going to go off like a rocket to whack up some bonding to put in his hull because I wanted to get the skib on as quick as I could after I'd done my gluing, and stuck me beads on with my old mitre glue like I do. I think I've done that after PVA'd it first, stuck my beads on with the mitre glue, then I stuck some half time in a bucket and about half a sachet, and I only mixed up 1 big full. And I knew it was going to go off. You know, if I weren't quick enough, I won't even get it out of the bucket. But I got it out of the bucket, I got it in his hull, flattened it off, and I could feel it going. And did these other little bits, and it was pucker, because by the time I put my trowel down, it was gone. And I thought, right, let's just crack on with the finish. I normally put the lid on first and then do the walls. But I decided I was going to go crazy for me. I was going to lay everything on, the whole lot. The reveals, all the walls, and the curved ceiling. And so I did a 2-bag mix with 2 sachets of the old extra time. And I hit all the walls first because I thought I could whack those on quick rather than leave the ceiling to mess about with till last. Whacked those on, that used up the 2 bags. Mixed up the 3rd bag with, like, straight away, once that had gone, with extra time in that as well. And whacked his ceiling on, and then yeah, I just went around the whole thing. And if anyone asked, no, I didn't film it. It was under pressure, and obviously it was. And I got the whole room bashed out. And I'm not kidding. It looked pretty. It looked smoother than some stuff. It just looked good. I impressed myself, and I thought, wow. So it's the first for me to do a room basically in 1 hit, and I was out of there by 4 o'clock. This takes into account I've got there late. I had to leave. I put my glue on. I had to go to B&Q and get some more gear because I didn't have enough stuff. And yeah, and I had bonding and that in there to do as well. So it went very swimmingly. Got tidied up and got back here by 4:30, something like that. So. Which was just as well, because I say my camera wasn't working properly, the computer was going a bit diddly, and yeah, but anyway, so that was me today, so thank God for the old extra time, because yeah, otherwise it would have been even more of a panic. If I'd have got back here late and this camera wasn't working, I would have panicked just a bit. Right, okay, let's crack on, guys. Tartar, yep, no, it's not yet, blah, 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 blah. Cream of tartar, Johnny, yep, where is the best place to purchase half time and extra time? You can get it obviously online, mate. If you just I keep meaning to put a link actually, because you can get it on Amazon as well. So I've got a lot of Amazon links, but I still haven't put that on my Amazon link. So, but if you do a search for it, mate, you can go directly to Mark Shepherd's website for the gear. It is cracking stuff. I didn't used to use it, as a lot of the guys already know. And I've only been using it the last, I don't know how long I've used it now, last year, something like that. and I'm a convert to using anything to speed up plaster or slow it down. I normally slow it down so I can take it a bit easier in the old days. Oh, hello, what's happened in my pub? My pub. Right, okay. Yeah, in case you hadn't noticed or you're new here, you can call in to the studio, yes, and talk to me live in this here place. In the pub, sorry, not in the studio, we're in a pub. Let me go to sieve. You can call me on 07516 214 983. 07516 214 983. It's down here as well. And you can talk to me live in the studio. You probably only want to do it if you're watching on the telly box, because if you're on your phone typing something now, you'd have to come out of YouTube to ring me, wouldn't you? Which wouldn't be sensible. But we do get the odd call now and again, and it breaks up the monotony of you poor old regulars having to listen to my voice for the next. Well, we go until about 8:30. Most people, YouTube tell me, pop in for 8 or 10 minutes to get a gist of what's going on and what the chat's about. But if you're just joining us, I'm Eric the Plasterer. Been a plasterer in South London for 37 years, and I'm here to answer any plastering related questions, and the guys can answer them as well if they want. And yeah, here for newbies, DIYers. There's nothing, there's no such thing as a stupid question when it comes to anything about plastering. If you're a potential customer and you want to know anything, just ask away, and if I can answer it, then I will. I'm getting it from builders merchants. Yeah, they do. You can get it from certain builders merchants, but again, there's a whole list of which builders merchants you can get it from on their website. So if you just Google it, Johnny, you'll get the website up, and then the website will show you the shops, like Travis Perkins, places like that do it. And yeah, back on with that, and it'll be sorted. Right, where are we? Yeah, so this is over here. This is me just twiddling about on the job I was doing last week, and now that it's finished, that is going to be the video that is not out yet, but it will be coming out this week. Yep. Yeah, right, okay. Let's just move you over there a bit. Why not? I just can't see the bar. Oh, hang on. Oh, cheers. It's Coca-Cola, by the way. I don't drink and work at the same time. And I'm on a diet as well, so I ain't had no beer for a while. I was saying that I'm going out with my mate on Friday or Saturday. Marvin, have you noticed a difference in the multi-finish lately, or do you think this plasterer is being funny? I don't know, a lot of plasterers, well, I say a lot of plasterers, I keep seeing comments coming up, people going on about how the multi-finish is really weird, or it's a bit strange texture-wise, or how it's going off or not going off, or there's something wrong with it, is it something different? But I personally, I haven't noticed any difference in it. I'm going to say it's always a pain in the arse to put on, but no, it's to me, I haven't noticed any difference. Like, they might have been twiddling about with a formula to, well, I don't know, how do you make it better at the end of the day? But no, I don't think so, mate. Evening, Bucky. Yeah, no, it's to me, I seems the same as ever, if I'm honest. I don't think anything's wrong with it, but then it might be where I'm living, the batches I get. I'm in South London. I buy most of my plaster from B&Q. I'm going to stop buying stock beads in there, like plasterboard stock beads, £6.37 for one. Having a blooming laugh, mate. Calm down there. Right, yeah. Okie dokie. Right, where are we? Yep, I don't know if we're going to be busy or quiet. We started, quite a few of us are here already, and what time are we at? We're only like 1:15, which is pretty good. It normally gets cracking. I'm guesstimating we'll probably be hanging around tonight till about 8:30, having a chat. having a drink, grab yourselves a drink, guys, if you got time, and come and sit by the fire and have a pint or a cup of tea, whichever you prefer. Matthew, do you use ball finish at all? What do you think of it if you do? Yeah, I do use ball finish. I haven't used, in recent years, I've just used multi-finish more or less on everything constantly. And then I've got some ball finish a while back. I'd forgotten how long it did or didn't take to go off, or what it felt like, because obviously the texture of it is slightly different when you knock that up. And I thought it went off a lot faster when I first bought another bag, and it might have just been a dodgy bag, and I thought, I'm not going to do that again, because I know where I am in the multi-finish and how long it took to go off, whatever. And so I didn't use any ball finish again for ages, until we had that issue where there wasn't any. I remember if that was before the Corona malarkey, when there was issues with them producing it, because they shut down some of their machines and they hadn't stockpiled enough, and that was a pain. But since then I've used ball finish again, and I think it took a bit longer to go off, if I was honest, than multi. But yes, short answer, Matt, is I do use it, and yeah, I like ball finish. I can work with that if there's no multi. Just the multi's there, I'm used to using it, so if it's available, I'll buy it. But if it's ball finish, yeah. I mean, I used to use ball finish as well on top of bonding or browning or whatever, even though technically that's not what it was for, but I've never found it had any problems with it when I was using it. Mark, how much is a bag of multi? In B&Q, it's about 7 something. It's just under £8 a bag, which that's gone up a fair bit in the last short while. Bonding, which used to be about that price, that's now about between 11 and 12 quid a bag. So yeah, I have to be really careful, because I still think, oh well, yeah, about a fiver for a bag. When I'm pricing up a job, I think, oh yeah, bag of finish, fiver. Bag of bonding, yeah, about 7 quid. Of course, it's not. So yeah, and this box room that I did today, I'd done a lot of work for these people before, and I could have sworn I'd given them a quote for it. It was a while ago, and I couldn't remember what it was, so I just had to do an, and I couldn't find it, they couldn't find it, so I just had to do it once I'd got there off the top of my head quote. So I thought I went in maybe a little bit low, but as I say, I managed to bash it out thanks to the old extra time, all in one go, so I was very happy. But is it cheaper than multi? I don't know, to be honest with you. I think it is, or it was, or it used to be, but I'm not sure. Next time, if you're on the Discord, mate, yeah, give us a heads up on it if you buy a bag. Well, next time we're going, they don't always have it in B&Q. They've got tons of multi, but yeah, don't have another ball finish, because a lot of the guys don't seem to be buying it. They just get the multi because it's there, thankfully. Silver, looking warm or wet there, mate. Oh, it's lovely here, mate. Oh, yeah, smashing. Got me a pint of pretend beer Coca-Cola. Ah, dear. Can you really crackling of the old fire in the background there? Is that working? I need to turn it up a bit, or just not notice it? Yeah, let me know. Can you hear the fire crackling? Can you hear the ambience of the bar? Because I don't have any sound pumped back to me, because you get feedback through the mic and all that kind of stuff. So that's why in the past, when there's been a really loud noise, like there was that time we had the old tube train in the background, I couldn't hear it, so I didn't know. People could hardly hear what I was saying because of the trains going by. But yeah, anyway, I'm digressing, aren't I? Silver, looking well, yeah, what's the best way to get into fibrous plastering? I did it at college, yeah, me too. I would like to get into it more. Well, Marvin, I don't know, to be honest with you. Like I said, I did it like back when I was learning. Decided I didn't want to do it as part of my main. Yeah, I had a little go of it, but yeah, it wasn't for me. I wanted to stick with the solid stuff. but it is more. It's a completely different kind of game, really. I mean, most solid plasterers don't really do much fibrous work, and vice versa. Most fibrous plasterers only do fibrous. As for getting back into it, mate, I haven't got an absolute Scooby-Doo. Again, it's something you'd have to Google up on it and see what results you get back. Because I haven't really been involved in fibrous plastering literally for about 30 years. So, dear. Sorry, not more help than that, Marvin, on that one. Swayze, hello, mate. Things are good, mate. Yeah, keeping busy, and that's all good. Doing work on my daughter's new gaff as well. Well, I did the really tidy skip. Again, only the guys on the Discord would have seen pictures of that. There was some like a washing machine and a half-sized dishwasher just ripping out the old kitchen. There's a new one going in, and a fridge, freezer, and whatever. I was thinking, I could flog these on eBay, but I decided that I'm just going to put them out for the scrap guys out the front of the tip because of the skip, because I'm never going to get around to all the missus doing that, and they're over in Kingston, and it's been getting them over, bringing the stuff home, and it's just not worth it, especially if it ends up that washing machine or the dishwasher's not working properly. But anyway, I'm waffling. James, hello mate. Mark, Carlite Ultra is over £11 here. You can hear the fire, mate. Oh, good. I just wanted that ambiance, because last time I had the fire, but it was dead quiet. And I thought, well, actually, you can have a bit of that crackling in the fire and a bit of people in the background. At some point, I think some old jingle people start singing. If it gets to that and it's annoying, let me know. And then as I change screens, the soundtrack goes back to the beginning, and that'll turn the music off. I've never used the Ultra Finish. I think it's just quite a smoother mix, isn't it? At the end of the day, probably similar to when you used to put ordinary Carlite finish on top of browning, and it used to come out lovely. It's come over £11, mate. Did we discuss it last time? That Stuart was using Stuart Roberts, and he's got the videos on his channel of that magnetic plaster he put on, and it looked too bad at the end of the day. It looked a bit dodgy how long it might take to go off once you got it up on the wall, but we more or less think it was like multi-finish regards working it. The fact it's black, it would be a bit strange, I think, to get used to. But that, between £60 and £100 a bag, I'd rather go without a magnetic board, to be honest. Johnny, hi Eric. Where's the best place for plasterboard beads bulk buy? Probably, mate, again, Amazon. I've got a box of, I don't know how many is in it. I've got a really big box of plasterboard angle beads off of Amazon. I think I paid about 70 quid. I remember how many is in there, 100, something like that. But much more worthwhile than even buying those in B&Q. If you buy a pack of 10, I think that's about 20 quid. If you buy them singularly, they're more. And as I say, if you buy a stock bead in plasterboard stock bead in B&Q, it's 7 quid for one. That's just a 2.4 metre as well. So I want to try and get some of those online. The missus reckons you can, but I'm sure last time I asked her to look, they had angle beads, but they didn't have stock beads, and the stock beads I want to be able to buy. But beads online. I mean, there are companies that up north that you can open an account with, and they send them. They've got a truck that comes down to London, and over the phone they'll try and flog you, and it's a good rate. Like when it comes to reels of fiberglass tape, angle beads, any kind of stuff like that. But every month they drop it off to you, and then they take it from your account, or you pay into your account to pay it off. But those guys ring you every month. Then, do you want any more of this, Eric? Do you want any more of that? And you're kind of thinking, no, you're all right, mate. I can only get through so much. So trying to get get what you can online. I've got a lot of links to stuff in my video descriptions. As I've said before, anything you buy, once you've gone onto one of my links, we get a kickback for the channel. It's a small percentage, but every little helps. And yeah, always feel free to jump down there in our descriptions and order something. The thing you're looking for, if it's on my description, or once you're on there, I say you can order anything, then we'll still get a kickback from it. And thanks for that in advance. Where are we? Wix are very low on stock. Yeah, I don't go into Wix that often, but there is one quite close. I might hop in my Wix and see what the prices are doing in there, because the B&Q is quite near. That's why I go there. There is a Selco near me as well, but it's a little bit more off the track I normally go to. I'd probably be better off going in there for some gear, if I'm honest, at the end of the day. Dan, hello Dan. Nice to see you, mate. Yeah, thanks for that, mate. Dan, I've seen some of your videos before, mate, and because I mean you can like really whack on a wall like at the speed. And I'm amazed how you start at the top. The one I was watching the other day, I don't know if it's one you put up before, but you put it up again. When you start from the top and you're going down from the, like, so your first stroke is going from the top down, which I find like pretty amazing, to be honest, mate. I kind of think, have you always done it that way, or did you kind of like start, someone go, oh, they don't want to mess about going up like everybody else does from the floor, get up the top, whack your trowel on there and then spread it down? Yeah, I haven't seen any other guys doing that. You seem to whiz it up in using that technique, mate, so good on you. Alright, silver. Merchants, best for beads. No, not dealing. Yeah, merchants. A lot of stuff is cheaper to buy in a builder's merchants. Not always plaster, but definitely when it comes to beads and any other additional things you want to buy, than it is in a place like B&Q. B&Q and similar DIY places tend to stitch you up for things like that compared to what a builder's merchants. Because you just assume, a builder's merchants probably more, I'll go to a DIY place. But no, get some brilliant stuff at the builder's merchants soon. Michael, evening mate. Multi-finish in Selco, $7.38 a bag. Yeah, that's just about. Yeah, I think that's about the sort of going rate in, has it, at the minute? 7 to say it's not quite £8, but yeah, it's nothing brilliant. But if it was £5 a bag in Selco, that'd be good. Okay, well, it probably is, but then you've got to put the VAT on. I'm guessing that's with the VAT as well. Michael, is it $7.38? Johnny, what's the other forum I can find you on here? Oh, down the bottom of the screen here, mate, you see this blue writing. It's a Discord, it's a community server. If you go in the video description, oh look at that. Any of my videos, they've all got this on it in the description, and there's a link for the Discord server, Ask the Plasterer Discord server. Click on that and you'll get sent an invite, and then you just click on that invite, and there's one little thing you've got to do once you're on there to be able to participate in it, but the instructions are on it, so you'll get an invite if you click on that link, and yeah, just follow what it says, mate, and if you have any issues, just let me know. And yeah, you can chat to me. A lot of the other guys are already on there. Like during the day, we'll chat to each other, send each other pictures, talk about a particular job we might be on, and yeah, it's just good crack. Rather than waiting for Ask the Plasterer to come around on a Monday or every other Monday at 7 o'clock. Podcast also available on your favourite podcasting, wherever you get your podcast from. Yeah. I'm losing track here. Right, okay. Zoltar, do you stop for dinner, and if so, how long? What? You mean at lunchtime? You don't mean tonight? I ain't had my dinner yet, mate. And I'm on this diet thing with the missus, and it's going really well. I've been on it for 3 weeks. This is the 4th week now, and I've lost about 5-6 kilos, which is the old 6-pack's going back. Yeah. It might be old and wrinkly, but it's there. I don't really stop. Well, this diet thing I'm on at the minute, I've got me dinner in a little like plastic box thing, and I'll normally like get a set or something on. And when that first set's finished in the morning, and it's getting somewhere near lunchtime, then I'll eat it then. But don't take 5 minutes to eat it. But then I'll crack on. I don't kind of stop. Don't go out and get lunch or cook breakfast or anything like that. I just like to crack on and get the job done. But yeah, I do have something to eat, even if I'm pushed for time. I will just eat in between, putting a coat on. Think, okay, before I go over that, bite of a sandwich. But yeah, I don't have a proper lunch break as such. But I'll just stop, shove something in, and then crack on. George, what is the pot of? What is that? What is the pot of Easy Mix? Oh, hang on, mate. What is this? I can't see it because it's fire. What is the pot life of Easy Mix? You mean how long do the packets like? I mean, it comes in packets. The Easy Mix gear. No, lasts for blooming ages as far as I know. As long as the packets aren't cut open. Because it's like in crystal form when you sprinkle it into your mix, into your water, not into your mix, sorry, into your water that you're going to make your mix in. Yeah, don't sprinkle it into the plaster mix. Make sure you mix it, then you get on your oven and put it in the water, mix it with the water, and then crack on as usual. Yeah, I think it lasts indefinitely, I suppose. Zoltar, Wix 10% discount. Yeah, I get some loyalty. Oh no, that's B&Q. I'm thinking they do some loyalty thing, but that's only 5% most of the time. Even though I spend a fortune in there on plastering the gear. Hang on, I've lost you on that screen. Just, what is the finish? Is the finish any different without Easy Mix? George, I don't find any difference at the end of the day with or without the Easy Mix regarding how it spreads or how the finish comes out. Hang on. So no, basically, for me personally, I don't think it makes no odds. I mean, obviously it slows stuff down or speeds it up, but it doesn't affect the what it feels like, or not in my opinion anyway, or how it goes off. Nothing in the bad way. Nothing in the bad way, George. Zoltar, Wix 10%. Oh yeah, Matthew. Before COVID, I was paying $4.50 a bag for multi. Yeah, I mean, it was around about a £5 or just over, I think, when B&Q anyway. And yeah, so I'll kind of guesstimate jobs on how many bags I have to go on it, how many bags to finish. You know, £5. Of course, now you just got to be a bit careful that you are allowing the proper price for it, because it's starting to creep up. Aha! Is that George? Is that aha or aha? Oh. Okay, nearly as bad as fuel. Yeah, petrol's going to be pushing up to the 150 by the looks of it. Yeah. Gandalf, evening mate. A bit of an unusual question. Do smaller trowels slow you down? One of my local shops sells a 12 inch stainless steel trowel. I feel like they might slow me down. Well, obviously with a shorter, more stumpy trowel, every time you spread some on, you're spreading on a little bit less regards to getting it on the wall. So yeah, technically I'd probably think it would slow you down a little bit from the amount that you're actually putting on with each stroke you're taking up the wall as you're working your way across the wall. So yeah, it probably does slow you down. So I mean, you can yeah, 12 inches very, very short, mate, isn't it? I mean, 14 inches quite short, but yeah, I think it probably would slow you down. And I personally, I think the more stumpy the trowel is, like lengthwise, it doesn't kind of, yeah, it can kind of give you grooves more easily. It might just be in my head, but that's how I feel when I used to use one. And years back, another guy used a shorter one, and he couldn't make out why I used a bigger one. But that was years ago anyway. It was a bit of a nice bloke though, other than that. Once mixed, Yeah, Gandalf. Oh, hang on. Once mixed, George. Once the gear's mixed in, it will slow it down. You get about an hour's extra time, and about half the time with half time, unless you're doing a small bucket like I did bonding today, and a small hole to fill in. And I whacked half a sachet of half time into that bonding, knowing it was only a big hookful. It was going to go off like a rocket. Which it did, but I managed to fill in what I wanted to with it, so I was pretty chuffed that it was ready to go. Like 2 minutes later with the set, so I didn't have to hang about have any bubbling up issues because the bonding was still wet underneath the skin. Gandalf, do they give you more control and are also kinder on the joints? A smaller trowel, bigger trowel? So I don't know. It's probably more got to do with the wizards, not the wand. Yeah, maybe, mate. Maybe at the end of the day. Pub's got a hole in it. Sorry. Well, don't worry, is it? George, thank you. Yeah, no worries, George. No worries. Thanks for coming along and asking some questions and joining us on Ask the Plasterer. If you've just joined us and you're new here, I'm Eric the Plasterer. I've been a plasterer in South East London for the last 37 years, and know a fair bit about plastering. So, if you're a newbie or a time served spread or a DIYer or a customer, welcome to Ask the Plasterer, because it is what it says. Or it says what it is. Yeah, Ask the Plasterer. With me, Eric the Plasterer. Right. Jason. Evening. Sounds a bit rowdy in there, mate. Half time is £20.50 for 10 sachets on Amazon, $2.35. Hey, I'm just going to swap screens because I'm guessing that the old sound is they've started singing, have they, in the background of the pub? See what this. Right, okay, where was we? Whoops, a daisy. Oh, sorry about that. So $20.50 for 10 sachets on Amazon, $2.35. $2.35 for a 3mm stop bead. Oh, in my local. Your local, what does that say? Smith, it looks like. H. Smith. What's that, Jason? Is that just a typo you've done there, mate, or is that the name of the actual the H. Smith you got there? I don't know if I meant to say something else. But yeah, no, if I can get some cheaper stock beads, it would be better because, as I say, at the moment, grabbing a couple, I don't need them that often, but when I do grab a few from B&Q, and then I'll let it once fall over when I'm at the till, the fact that nearly £7 for one, that's really. I've got to stop moaning about it. You can tell it bugs me, can't you? Amateur vegan. I haven't seen you for a while, mate. Welcome. 16-inch, perfect for me. Yeah, 16-inch is nice. It's nice. James, just purchased the DeWalt cordless mixer. Ooh, lovely. Oh, you must be rich, James. Or you were before you bought that. Dear. Looking forward to using it. Oh, I ain't even got it wet yet, mate. Wow. Using it once I bought all the batteries for it. It does come with at least one battery, doesn't it? And I hope it does for the money it costs. But it is meant to be pucker. It is meant to be pucker. Because I only think it's probably worth having if you're on the site. Because on domestics, if you've got a 240, it's not an issue to have a lead for plugging it in. The only trouble with having anything like that expensive on site, you wouldn't want to take your eyes off it just in case it went for a walk. Yeah, oh no, nice one though. yeah, enjoy that, mate, and let us know. Let us know how you get on with it as well. Once you've saved up enough for the batteries. Yeah, I'd go for a 16-inch one. And off at the end of the day, I wouldn't go for a 12-inch. I think it's a little bit too stumping. I mean, it might be good for getting into a particular kind of size between a light switch and a architrave on a door on a particular job. It's good to have different size trowels, and obviously like the little small ones as well. But 12-inch for your general spreading. 16 at least. I would go for that, mate. Yeah, 14, 16. 16, yeah, choice. The H. Smith merchants. Whereabouts are you, Jason? Where's the H. Smiths? Are you in the London neck of the woods, or are you miles away? Up north, or that way a bit, or that way a bit? I was never that good with geography. Have you used Beefix tape, Eric? I haven't done, Mark, only because I'm so happy with the old mitre glue that I use for whacking on the beads. It's the only reason I haven't given it a try. I suppose I should buy at least a pack of it or a roll of it, so I can try it out and give my opinion on it. Yeah, no, I haven't yet, mate. I haven't yet, but I will get it and give it a go. As I say, my old mitre glue and accelerator spray, which I don't use it so much now. It's so not the way you're meant to stick beads on. But everyone sticks beads on different ways now, and if it works, as I always say, if it works, then you know, why not? Why not? Bash it out. It does a good job. James, I've only bought the drill so far without the batteries. I didn't think you could. Well, yeah, you can just buy the bases for a lot of tools, can't you? Buy the batteries completely separate. Which you think, oh, that looks cheap for a DeWalt drill, and they go, yeah, there's no batteries for that, mate. And you go, oh, okay, I'll get that, and then they'll save up for the batteries. Oh dear. So I'll buy them separately. Right, I'm domestic plasterer, so I won't need to worry about it getting nicked. No, that's true, mate. That's true. But yeah, I just find guys on sites sometimes prefer them because they ain't got to lug around a 110 transformer. Because obviously on site you're not allowed to use 240. For anyone doesn't know anything about site work, you have to use 110. And you need a transformer for 110, so you have to lug that around as well. So guys much prefer to have a battery operated, preferably with DeWalt, yeah. But on a domestic, because it's 240 volts, lead and plug. But of course, yeah, and I think the batteries are quite powerful on it as well once you've got them. So, but let's know how you get on, mate, when you've got your batteries, and what you think of the whisk as well. You can let us know on the old Discord site, amongst other things. Oh, that's another thing I meant to mention that most of you probably know already. Trowel Talk, not the Facebook group, which has got about 3,000, pushing 4,000 people on that now, which is fantastic. Stuart's Trowel Talk YouTube channel finally hit the 1,000 subscribers. It's going over that now, thankfully. Last week sometime. And so well done, Stuart, mate. Top man. Your videos have like really got a bit pucker, mate. I don't know if you've got really good at it lately, or you're paying someone else to do all the editing. But if you're not, mate, good job. Good job, whatever. But well done, well done. Jason, Strobridge, West Midlands. Oh, okay, mate. Okay. Yeah, we will get beads and stuff cheaper at, as I say, at Builders Merchants. We haven't got any of those at the H. Smith, or not that I know of, down in London. Sadly, but if they were, they'd probably charge a bit more for their beads, wouldn't they? It's London, and it's charging better prices, so charge a bit more for your beads. Ah dear. Right, on let's back to over here. Here we go. Yeah, you can call the studio. If you've just joined us, I'm Eric the Plasterer. This is Ask the Plasterer, welcome. And I've been a plasterer in South London for the last 37 years. So if there's anything you want to know and I can answer it to do with plastering, then I will, whether you're time served spread, whether you are a customer, potential customer, whether you're a DIYer, a newbie to plastering, or looking to get into it as a career, this is a place to come. We do this every other Monday from 7 o'clock, normally goes on to about 8:30. Goes out as a podcast a few days after the event. And the only time you can't ring this number at the top here is if you're not really watching it live. But tonight, if you're watching it right now, I know you'd hear me say that, he's watching the video as well, but anyway, if you're watching it right now, you can ring 07516 214 983, 07516 214 983, and talk to me here in the pub. Yes, live, and give the guys a break from my dulcet tones. Especially my lovely regulars who tend to stick with me for the whole hour and a half of Ask the Plasterer, waffle and camaraderie. Oh yeah. Callum, hey, best tips for troweling up. Yeah, don't use, if you're talking about that, don't put too much water on it if you're talking about at that stage, and don't over trowel it too soon. They're two major things at the end of the day. And finish off with a cross trowel is normally a really good thing to do. I do a wet cross trowel, and I will probably do a dry cross trowel at the end as well. So I hope that answers the question you was after me answering. So I'm not the fastest reader. If this thing ever gets any faster, I'm going to be flummoxed. Silver, how are you finding wet troweling with the Speedy now instead of the F blade? I'll get mixed up with talking about it in initials. Silver, I can never remember if the ST is the plastic one and the SF is the metal one, or the other way around. But if you put plenty of water on to a wall that you're going for the wet trowel on, you can use the plastic blade on it, which I find is okay. I'm generally still just using the plastic blade for my first troweling off with the first coat before I put the second one on, and because the second one I'm just flattening it out with my trowel mostly, really. And then when that's picking up enough that I can get some water on it, I will start to use the metal blade on it, but not before then, because of it drawing the water to the surface, blisters and the rest of it that you don't want. But yeah. Johnny, I've got to plaster out a new front porch, and I get a bead for the archway in the porch. Thanks. You can buy arch if the arch is already there, Johnny. Then you can buy arch beads. Personally, I don't use them. I'm not that keen on them. I mean, they're plastic, and they kind of got lots of cuts in, or they're machined into it, so you can bend them. But I still find that this, for me, it's not. It's quite a tight curve. It's still not as curved as I'd like it to be. I still feel like it's a little bit. Plus, it's quite a big lip on the edge of the bead of those, and I'm not keen on those. I normally work if the arch is already there. If there's no arch, there's a square opening. Obviously, you can buy preformed arches that you can put in. come in 4 bits to build up either side. But if the arch is already there, I tend to do it freehand. I've got a video on me doing an arch freehand to show you how I do it anyway. And in that, guys have suggested, oh, why don't you cut the beads and try and bend them? But if you try and cut beads yourself to bend, even over a big archway, you can still get little kinks in it when you cut it. And as I say, and the beads that you can buy to do arches like that, yeah, I mean, buy one and see what you think, give it a go, but I tend to do it freehand. Watch the video and see what you think. If you think freehand might be a bit too much and you're worried about it, then go with a bead. Again, for anyone who's just joined us, I'm Eric Plasterer. I've been plasterer for 37 years in South London. I'm here to answer any of your plastering related questions and just have a little bit of a chat. A lot of the guys, regulars here, apart from me, they can type up an answer to your question if they want. It's not a monopoly that I have to answer everybody's questions. If any of the guys do, if you do want to answer somebody, I might read them out thinking you're asking me a question, but yeah, don't worry about that. But better still is if you go to Ask the Plasterer community, yeah, this one here. This is an app, the easiest way to get onto it, so you can chat with me and a lot of the other guys any day of the week, or even in the week, put pictures on it and all the rest of it. If you click on any of my links in the description, yeah, now if you link, yeah, start again now, there we go. Right, if you click on the link in the description that says Discord Ask the Plasterer, it will send you an invite and you just click on that and follow the instructions and you can chat to me and the other guys on there rather than waiting for this to come around or just putting comments on the videos or whatever. So it's pretty good, it's pretty good. Are the new Tyzac trowels any good? Don't know, mate. I haven't tried a new one. As I say, I've got an old one in the garage, but I still haven't bothered to clean the rust off it to give it a try because I keep forgetting I'm going to do it. A lot of things I say I'm going to do, and then I just forget because I'm getting old, and I'm just cracking on with my jobs and trying to film stuff and edit stuff. And make other stupid little videos to do with Halloween or vlogging easy mix. Extra time, half time. Oh dear. I don't think Chester any good. As far as I know, Tyzac used to be on a par with Marshalltown. Yeah, Tyzac had been bought by Spear and Jackson. I think it's that way round, not the other way round. But they've been around. Tyzac have been around for donkey's years. They were quality trout, and I assume still are trout. So just buy one and give it a go, and off and give us some feedback on what you think of it and what it's like on here on the next Ask the Plasterer or on the Discord server on the community. Really. Ian, right, yeah. Do you know how to form an arch using hardboard? Hardboard? Oh, you mean like you can make a template, a hardboard template of an archway that you want, that you make to measure, and put that. You can either do it where you put one of those either side, and you do the internal soffit part of the arch first, let that go off, then take those away from the sides, and then do each side separately. That can be done. But I've only ever done that when if I'm going to form an arch that's out of bonding or something like that. Just doing a skim. You could probably do it with a skim as well, to get your edge. Is it anything when you're using something like that, or when you're doing freehand, an edge can be problematic to get it nice I mean, I'll get mine pretty pucker, but I do sort of say to the client afterwards, when that's properly dry, you just gently want to take a bit of very fine sandpaper around that beaded part of the curve, just to make sure it's pucker, but only gently. Then do that. Yeah, I've used hardwood before. And, I'm assuming you've used it, and you're asking me if I've used it as well. Or if you're asking me how, then I think I've told you. James. Yeah, made a bit of a mess in some areas where I tried to fill in a couple of patches. You can see the filled areas are raised in the light. What's the best way to fill and blend so it's invisible? Yeah, most spreads, including myself, will suggest if you can do a wall without patching it. I mean, patching can be done at the end of the day, but even when it's not sticking out proud and you do a fairly good job of it, a patch could still possibly show, especially if you're just painting the wall. If it's got to be cross-lined and wallpapered or whatever, then it's not an issue. But if you are going to attempt doing just a patch in future, you need to make sure that patch is kind of like flattened off with something solid. If you use anything flexible, if you use like a bit of a flexible trowel or even a Marshalltown that's got some flex in it, and you try and you push too hard, you'll get a dip as opposed to it sticking out. But either way, that will show. Again, when you're doing it like completely fresh yourself, if you've got a proper flexi trowel, then when it comes to blending the edge, when you go across that will give you the best blend from your patch onto your original plaster, as opposed to using a harder, like a Marshalltown layered on trowel, which can kind of rip that kind of edge that you're trying to get with the two blend together. So plenty of water on that when it's drying or nearly dry to smooth that edge out. Flexible trowel. If it's already sticking out as a bump, mate, all you can do is sand the blooming thing down as best you can, depending on how much it's sticking out. A bit messy, might take ages, but or without hacking it right back out again and refilling it. Depends how bad it is as a bump. If you do hack it out and refill it, do what I suggested when it comes to the refilling. And so if you've got a flexi trowel that you can go through the edging of it with, you'll get a much nicer blend between that patch and the original plaster. But if you can and where you can, skim the whole wall from one corner to another, patching. Yeah, even a really good patch, if the light hits it a certain direction, be it sunlight or any other kind of light, and it's just painted surface, it's problematic for all plasterers, which is why a lot of us will kind of say, look, we'll skim the whole wall. Especially if you're doing it for yourself, then it's not a major issue. But if I'm doing a job for a customer, I sort of say, well, I could patch this, especially if it's a big patch. I could patch it out for you, but the time it's going to take me to do the patch, I could take the skim from this corner to that corner of the wall. Obviously you're going to charge them a little bit more because you're giving them a whole nice new wall as opposed to filling in the patch, but it's worthwhile. I tend to take the customer into having the whole wall done across rather than a big patch in it. I hope that helps, mate. Yeah, and when you're doing any kind of work, or if you are always kind of, if you shine a light across it up close or up or below or from above down, you'll see how much it will show once the job's done. Right, yeah, up here. So this is my community Discord server. You can join us on there. Trowel Talk is Stuart's, apart from his YouTube channel, is the best plasterers help group on Facebook that you will find. No stupid questions on there. It's for newbies as well as time-served guys, and everybody on there is extremely friendly, not like a lot of these other sites that are just full of people that take the mick out of you all the time. So it's great for newbies and for DIYs as well. That's just me messing about on what's going to be my next video, which will be out in the next couple of days probably. Me doing a real pain in the backside loft base on my knees. Not a lot of fun, but I'm glad that one's over. No worries, James, no worries. Okay, let's back over to this part of the pub. Yeah, you can ring me if you want to and talk to me here in the pub at 07516 214 983. 07516 214 983. I am Eric the Plasterer, time served plasterer, 37 years at the game. If you want to ask me any questions, whether you are a time served spread or whether you are a newbie, a customer, or a DIYer, ask away. You probably only want to ring in if you're watching me on the old telly box, because yeah, it's easier than trying to ring me if you're already on YouTube on your phone. If you're watching me on the TV and check if it is definitely live and not a recording, and you ring me, just make sure you turn your TV down because there's a slight time delay which will confuse both of us. Okay, right. Oh, evening, Lindsay. There's sound on in the pub background. Yeah, I did that for a little bit of ambiance, my dear. If the people started singing, then that's not so good. But if it's just the crackling of the fire and a little bit of mumbling in the background, I don't mind that. Just makes it a bit more like I'm in the pub. Cheers. Oh, by the way, Lindsay, I'm coming over to yours with Mum tomorrow after we've been to see the nice man at Howden. Yeah. Aha. Bit loud. I'll turn it down a bit. I can remember which button it is. Yeah. How's that? Is that better? Can you still hear the fire crackling though? Matthew, it's full sing-song mode. Oh no, hang on then, mate. Get rid of that. We don't like full sing-song mode. If I do that, and then I do that, hopefully the sing-songing has stopped. I don't mind a bit of chatting in the background and the fire crackling, but when they start singing, yeah, it gets a bit annoying. Not my kind of pub music. Hopefully the singing stopped now. For a little while anyway. Yeah, it should have done. Right, okay. Yeah, where are we? Right, yeah, me over there doing the old lofts advert for the old off time, extra time, easy mix, brilliant stuff. Actually, on my YouTube channel, I've done a playlist of all the adverts I've done for easy mix. So, if you're that way inclined, you can watch them all one after the other. Which is probably only Mark that might do that, but you never know. Oh dear. Right, but it is good stuff. It's good stuff. And in this video, it's just making a point that it's all British standard tested, and it's solid. It's good stuff. Right, enough of me waffling on about that. Michael, they're still singing. What about now? They're singing now? I didn't think they started singing for quite a while. I was obviously wrong. Maybe I've just managed to stop them singing. As long as they don't sing too loud. If they do, let me know, and I'll turn them down more. That's the trouble with people in pubs. That's the trouble doing this kind of thing in the pub. People get a bit rowdy, then they start singing the old jigs and all that, and then why can't they just like mumble like they do in most other pubs? They're literally still singing now, Lindsay, because I can't hear it at my end because I don't have the sound turned on because it's it gives feedback through the microphone and starts whistling and all that malarkey. If it is, then Mark Neeson. Is that an Irish bar? Of course it is, Mark. Of course it is. I'll try and make you feel at home, mate. Oh dear. But yeah, but they only sing the one song, I think. I thought they sung it near the end of the loop. It's called. Just talking now. Oh, good. Let me know if the singing goes on for too long or starts again, and you don't want to listen to the singing. And I'll put the soundtrack back to the beginning. Jay sounds like a lock-in in an Irish club. Yeah, lovely. Well, in real life, not on a video, but yeah, real life locking in an Irish pub in Ireland. Oh yeah, just please. Right, where are we? Right, 21 people watching at the moment. I don't know if you're customers, maybe you're just having a nosy, maybe you're plasterers. I mean, if you're a plasterer and you want to give us a review of a tool that you think is fantastic or rubbish, then just yeah, type away or ring in and have a muck about it, or sing its praises. But yeah, you can ring into the pub studio on 07516 214 983, 07516 214 983, and yeah, fill your boots. Just like to have a relax here, have a bit of a chat, and yeah, let's see how the old night goes on. Johnny, what hook are you using, Eric? As I need a new one. Also, do you keep your tools in a bag or a bucket? I used to keep my tools in a bag, and then I realised that half my bigger tools don't really fit in the bag, and you still got to carry your hook separate. And back in the college days, and then when I was first starting, I used to unscrew the handle off of my better metal one. Unscrew the handle off of me Hulk so I could kind of get it in the bag, and then I'd screw it back on again, but that knackers the thread really quick if you keep unscrewing it and screwing it back up again. Yeah, I've got a metal Hulk. I have used the plastic ones in the past, or plastic, polyurethane or whatever they're made of. They're quite light, but they get chunks out of them if you accidentally catch your blade, your edge of your trowel on them. They're soft. So yeah, I'd go for a half decent metal Hulk, mate, with a screw-on handle. I think Marshalltown do a Hulk. They're probably half decent to get a Marshalltown Hulk. But generally, it's yeah, a metal Hulk as opposed to the old plastic one. But I think it's whatever people get used to. Any Hulk is better than no Hulk. I'd made my own in the past. Again, we're talking a long time ago. And when I'd gone to a job or I was on site and I just didn't have a Hulk, and literally made one. But yeah, it's not. They're not good and they don't last for more than a day. Oh dear. They started singing again. There we go. Right. Yeah, they keep singing, Michael. You can't hold these Irishmen down. They love a sing song, mate. You try to quieten up for a little while, and they go, okay, yeah, no worries. And then 5 minutes later. Oh dear. Yeah, but yeah, a lot of my tools, mate, I will put in my big mixing bucket that I use for mixing up my gear, whether it's bonding or finish. I stick a lot of my tools go in that, and when I hump the thing into the client's house, I mean, it weighs a flipping ton, but it's mostly got all my gear in it, my trowel, all the other little trowels and stuff, and then the other things I've got piled in there. And or in small buckets as well. I have some stuff, but yeah, I gave up on bags years ago. They get messed up pretty quick, and yeah, I mean to carry all your stuff properly in a tool bag, it would have to be huge, and you'd hardly be able to lift it off the ground. A bit like my father-in-law's tool bag, but he's a chippy. Oh dear. So yeah, go for a bucket or something like that, mate, as opposed to a tool bag. James, Eric, been thinking of having a sort out in the back of the van. It's good when you do have a sort out, but getting around to it. It's all right in the summer, but in the winter, I'm like, yeah, not tonight. Which layouts do you guys, most guys you know, for example, do most guys have raised floors? Raised floors are brilliant for being able to slide balls under. If you're talking about, if you've got a proper sized van, not like my 4-wheel Range Rover thing that I've got, my Freelander. If you've got a proper van, or a big van that will take a width of like an 8x4, not that I use 8x4s, I use 6x3s anyway to go on my roof box. They tend to, my mates tend to build a platform in the bottom when they built new vans, so they can put all their tools and gear on the top and slide any balls, whether it's plaster balls or whether they've got to buy timber balls for one reason or another, just slide them underneath. Perfect. They're out of the rain, you ain't got to have an extra box on the roof of your van, and and then build the kind of racking that you could hook your trowels on or stuff like that. Basically, so raised floor every time. Then how you actually do your racking in it is a matter of taste and what tools you've got that you want to sort of hook in there. Everybody's got a slightly different setup, but I would always do the raised floor regardless, unless your motor's as small as mine, in which case it would take up too much room and won't get any tools in there. Make sure your raised floor is strong enough to hold at least 6 bags of finish. Or if it's a big van, obviously more than that. But I think I've had 8 bags of gear in my motor. I'm surprised that you can still see the wheels at the back, but you can. It's got some really hard suspension on it. Thank God. Oh dear. Right. Michael, as you work on your own, do you listen to radio at work? Oh, mate, I listen to. It might be because I'm old. I listen to LBC from about when I get to work until about 1 o'clock, and then by that time I've had enough of listening, especially because the news is on. Well, all the radio stations, the news is on 15 minutes on it, which is great if there's any good news. But when it's kind of any sad or depressing news, I think, it's not news, mate. You told me 15 minutes ago. Do you have to repeat the news every 15 minutes? But I'm just whinging about stuff that's not really important. So I listen to the radio. Sometimes, call me vain, sometimes I'll even listen to a Ask the Plasterer podcast just to see what it's like to listen to while I'm actually working. Obviously, the podcast is a lot easier because you don't have to have your phone open on YouTube to listen to it, and you can just listen as you work. So sometimes I do that, and then I'll revert to Spotify and just play some. I've got a eclectic taste in music. I like really varied stuff. Not so much classical stuff, but from really young pop type soul, R&B. All sorts of stuff I listen to. But generally, I do the LBC and just listen to talk radio for till about 1 o'clock, and then I'll go to music or podcasts or something a bit more exciting. Just because I can. I do like a roaring fire of an evening. I have to say. The people that keep singing, they're kind of like around the corner there. That's why there's no one sitting in these seats, because they've all gone doing a bit of a Kaylee or whatever around the corner. Okay, if you have just joined us, I'm sorry regular guys, I have to do this. Hi, I'm Eric the Plasterer. I've been a plasterer for 37 years in South London, and I'm here to answer any of your plastering related questions. Whether you are a newbie, DIYer, a time-served plasterer, or a customer, or potential customer that wants to know anything, ask away. You can type your questions there, or you can ring into the studio. Gandalf, Black Sabbath for me. Well, I will take a little bit of Black Sabbath for about 10 minutes. And I think, oh yeah, nah. I mean, I've got a bit I do quite like, but it's probably because I'm older. I quite like Nickelback, but they get a lot of stick. I don't know why. If you can tell me, I mean, if you like Black Sabbath, you probably don't like Nickelback. So, yeah, if you can tell me why they get so much stick, mate, let me know. I don't listen to them that often, but yeah, and even after a while, they get on my nerves as well. So, actually, after a while, anything gets on your nerves if you're listening to it all day, every day, for hours and hours. Yeah. Mark, which part of plastering do you enjoy the most? Which part do you like the least, Derek? Right, what part do I like the most? The troweling up bit, because I know I'm nearly going home and I've done the hardest part of the whole job, as opposed to like the laying on of. Well, I'm thinking of like jobs like this one. I mean, this bit with the. So I'm doing there. I think I've got my metal blade speed skin there. I put some water on it, and not on the speed skin, on the wall. And I'm using my metal blade speed skin there. One of my first trowel ups, wet trowels. First wet trowel I do now tends to be with a metal blade speed skin. And then once I've done that one, then my next one will be with my Ultraflex. So I quite like doing that bit. Yeah, don't like laying on. The worst part for us plasterers, which most plasterers will know, is just packing all your stuff away back in your motor. I mean, if you're on a job that's like for a few days or something, that's not so bad the first few days. Get all your gear there, lovely. Bash out what you want to bash out and go, right, that's it, I'm done, that set's finished. Customer's not going to be coming in the room, they're not worried about the mess. I'll just shut the door and off you go. But of course, the last day you're finishing the job, it's right, not only are you finishing it, you've got to tidy up, and then you've got to pack your motor. And obviously, and when you're doing jobs like up in a loft, of course, you've got all the stairs back down to the, even if you're lucky enough that they have got a driveway, which most of my customers fortunately have, or I'm lucky enough that I do manage to get parked right outside their gaff, which is good. The jobs that aren't near, or you've had to park up the road a little bit, absolute, yeah, they're no fun when it comes to repacking the motor and getting shot of rubbish as well. So yeah, that's my best bits: troweling up, or getting paid, obviously, and but not and worst bits: packing the motor up when you're all done on a job. Thinking, yeah, start another one tomorrow. Ooh. It's funny though, you can be really fed up on one job and think, oh, I'm glad that's over, even if it's not a tough one like this one. And but the next day you start a new one and you just crack on. Your mind just must kind of, I think, just resets. For okay, we're off again. But that's why I can't do weekends. Not the guys older than me, which amazes me, that still do weekend work. And the younger guys, fair enough if you want to go for it. But oh man, yeah, 5 days is enough for me. Do you like the actual Gandalf? Do you like the actual? Oh, this is we're talking about music again now, mate. I do like them actually. I think their singer is quite talented. Yeah, he's got a cracking voice on him. Old whatever his name is. I don't know what his name is. People hate them because they think their styles have been the same for ages, and their lyrics are pretty good. Oh, their lyrics are good. Yeah, I do like a lot of their songs. Once I've actually got into them and learned what they're actually singing, and not just enjoying the tune, I think, oh yeah, they've got some good old meaning to them for sure. I keep getting a hole in my pub. I'll sort that out for next time. Right, where were we? James Hatton. Have you plastered any famous people's houses, and if so, who? Fortunately not. I've worked for some really rich prince fella. Was he a prince? No, he was a racehorse owner. That was with a company that was working on when I was on a site. Well, his house was the site. It was like a hotel, massive place. And this was donkeys years ago, and I think it was like about £11 million. I mean, now it'd be about £100 million to buy, because it was in Cobham. So you wouldn't get that. 11 million would be cheap. Would be cheap now. But I did do. There was a group back in there, but you probably wouldn't know, depending on how old you are. I don't remember what they were called now. But they were pretty good. I mean, they were like 2-hit wonder, 3-hit wonder. But they were on top of the pops at the time, and they were friends of one of my relatives who gave them the number, my number, to them. And when I went around there, I thought, oh, this is because they had the picture of one of their albums in the back of the toilet. I think it only dawned on me then when that happened. Seize the day, mate. You're a bit sad. Go somewhere else. Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to find out how to get rid of you, mate. And you got nothing better to do. Oh dear. Right, bear with, guys, bear with. As I can't complain, it's been a long time since. It's not get this kind of crap coming. That's better. Right, sorry guys, where were we? UK Plastering and Associates. Hi Eric, I'm 27 years in the trade, third generation spread. Mate, nice one. 27, still got 10 years on you. Oh mate, it's hard work though, it is tough. It is tough. 27 years in the trade, third generation. Yeah, no, that's cool, mate. Third generation. Yeah, no, my old man was a postman. My granddad. Yeah, what my granddad did? Oh no, tell a lie. My dad's dad. Yeah, he was a dentist. Yeah, he had a proper job. Oh dear. Yeah, he had a few quid as well, but yeah, we never saw any of that. Sadly. Oh dear. But not. Yeah, I'm a first generation spread, and I've had 2 daughters, and neither of them want to be plasterers. So. Don't blame them. Yeah, my first ever trial diggity. I thought I've been lucky to get this to go this long without getting one. Oh dear, but yeah, God, these trials they go kind of crazy, don't they? They was going for it big time. It's well, I feel like I've got influencer now, mate. Oh dear. I'm surprised he hasn't rung me, but if he does, if it's a withheld call, I won't accept it. If it's his number, at least I'll have his number. Oh dear. Right. Yeah, thanks, Linz. Yeah, I'm a proper influencer now. Oh dear. I should have checked before how quickly you can get shot of them, but I found out now, so I'm glad, because he was spoiling my type stuff from you guys there. Oh dear. Cheers, PK. Dan, hi Eric, thanks mate. I am listening. You're my radio for tonight. Oh, well, just listening to me waffling, mate, without the picture. Oh, hey Dan, did you hear me ask about the way you like the last video I watched of you when you was laying on from the top down? And I found it fascinating, mate. I found it absolutely fascinating. Yeah. Sorry, Dan. I had my very first trial just now. he put so much. He put like a massive type garbage down the page really quickly. I don't know how he managed that, but he'll have to use a different account to do it again. But you can just block these people, thankfully. Oh dear. Right. Any recommendations on knee pads when you're wearing shorts in the summer? Yeah, when I'm wearing shorts in the summer, which is the most of the summer, and some in the winter sometimes as well. I haven't had knee pads, but then I regret it as soon as I got to get on my knees for anything. Like this job at the top there, even with the trousers on a carpet, it was starting to not hurt my knees as in like in the bones or nothing, but literally just against my kneecaps on the floor. So anything with a bit of a decent padded kneecap, it's a bit spongy, I would imagine. But yeah, no, I'll have to get myself a decent pair of knee pads, mate. Yeah. That's another thing I keep promising myself. Oh yeah, I'll get one of those. I'll get some of them. And then I just forget until I'm on that job thinking, oh, I should have got some knee pads. But, there you go. Such is life. Yeah, another thing, I've got no pads on my stilts anymore either, which is absolutely fine when I've got trousers on and I'm doing a ceiling. But in the summer, when I've whacked them on, I literally had the metal against the skin of my calves. And when you pull those things tight, yeah, that hurts. But now if I've got the shorts on, I should just splash out and get some new pads to put in my stilts. But I wrap a couple of microfiber cloths. Fiberglass. Oh, that'd be horrible. Microfiber cloths around me calves and tape it on with a bit of the tape that I used to stick the plastic down with, and then put my stilts on. But yeah, it would be easier for me to get some new pads that go inside my stilts. Oh dear. Anything else Michael, I think the troll is singing in the background. Hang on, mate. Yeah, let's fix that. Sorry, Mark, if you was enjoying that. If you're still there. Right, Dan, I came up with that technique to avoid injury pulling over my shoulder. I mean, I can get gear on the top of my trap, because obviously when I do the top of the ceiling, the top of the wall down, because if you watch my videos, I go from the bottom, sweep up as far as I can, go along, put the sides on, and then I'll do the top. So I'll get that top in, but I don't know if I'll be able to get enough gear on the top of my trap to spread it down the wall as far as you go. I suppose with a bit of practice, it's doable, but yeah, no, it's quite a good technique. Or for you anyway. But I might give that a go, and if I drop too much gear, then I might knock that on the head. Oh dear. I'm just gonna. Oh, that's it, right. Where are we? But no, it's impressive, man. And yeah, thanks for joining us, mate, and subscribing to the channel and all that malarkey. And I think I'll subscribe to yours, mate. If I haven't, I will be doing that this evening if I haven't done it already. But yeah, it's one way of avoiding the shoulder pulling over shoulder injury. Yeah, because you're more pushing down, aren't you? But at the end of the day, yeah, you're still having to like trowel upwards when you're doing your troweling up, are you? But anyway, but it's all good, Dan. It's still good. I think it's you, Dan, that's anti-sponging like me, mate, as well. Eh? I don't think you're a sponger. As in, like, I'm talking about plastering now, obviously. PK Associates. I find the straps on the back of the knee pads rub suitable. Yeah, that's the. I think that's probably why I don't use them. I probably did get myself some years ago and realised that like you say, the strap is literally rubbing on the back around your two ligaments down the side of the back of your kneecap. And yeah, although your actual knees are right, the fact the strap's digging in isn't great. But yeah, what can you do? I suppose you could try, like I do when I'm using the stilts, mate, and get some microfiber cloths and just wrap those with a bit of tape around your knees. Yeah. That's in the back of the knees, yeah, terrible. I've looked at the sock version. I haven't seen the sock version, mate, for when we're in shorts. Yeah, I mean, I'll say the shorts don't matter now because of the time of year, but I went to do this box room this morning. I thought, yeah, right, long trousers, happened to have a black t-shirt as well. So I'm kind of like completely dressed in black for work, doesn't really matter. And of course the sun came out, didn't it? And it was belting right through this window, and the customer had their heating on, so I was cooking. So when I did shoot out to get some gear, I popped back home and grabbed my shorts and a vest top because I was cooking, and that did the trick, thankfully. So, but luckily I didn't have to, because it was a box room, I didn't need my stilts for the ceiling. I just did it off a small ladder. James, how often do you soak your trousers in a bucket of water to remove the lime scale? I did this over the weekend. Took me ages. Yeah, I've never soaked my trousers to clean them. Which does seem like a brilliant idea. But then I have to be really careful, because when people see this video here, if they watch it too carefully and they look at the state of my speed skim handles and blades, yeah, I'm probably going to get a lot of stick. So I'm hoping that you don't see them that much on there because I'm so quick. But if you do, yeah, I am. When something's brand new to me, I'll keep it clean. Well, I used to keep it clean for quite a few weeks, but now I'm lucky to keep it clean for a few days. But you know what? As long as it's doing the job, I get the bulk of it off. Give it a slosh over with my brush, and I'm good to go on to the next bit, or get out there and go home. But yeah, you should look after your tools better. I'm going to try soaking a trowel when it's getting to the end of a job. I'm thinking, especially if it's on a weekend coming up, I should think, you know what, I'm going to keep my trowels out and keep them soaking up the garage over the weekend. But if I do that, knowing me, I'll shoot off to work on Monday morning. And I'll get there before I realise I've left the trowels soaking in the garage. Which is probably one of the reasons I don't do it. Oh dear. Maybe choose bicarbonate of soda. Yeah, bicarb, the old water's meant to help, isn't it? And old Dom, who's on the old repair shop that I do love to watch. He's got a YouTube channel, and he cleans, apart from the stuff he cleans on the old on there, he's cleaned tools on his YouTube channel, and he attaches the old battery connectors from a 12-volt car battery to get the old water fizzing, and puts bicarb in it as well, and that just gets it off even quicker, or does an even better job, and also meant to knacker the. Hang on, I've just sorry man, I'll just sort that out later. So I clicked on something to report that troll. But it wants me to answer half a dozen other questions, so I ain't got time at the minute and can't really be bothered to do. Right, I digress. Where are we? Where's last yeah. Right, let's swap screens again. Have a bit of a change. Well, let's have a bit of a change. We're still in the pub, but we're over here now. Yeah, hey. Oh dear. Yeah, you can, unless you're a troll. Ring this number 07516 214 983 and talk to me in the studio or pub, and ask me any plastering related questions. I'm here at the Plasterer. I've been a plasterer for 37 years, and I'm here to answer any of your plastering related questions. whether you're DIY, whether you're time served spread, whether you are a newbie to plastering. If you've got any questions and you want to ask them, this is the place to come. And generally we get together here every other Monday, have a good old chinwag and chat, and yeah, and it's just nice to see all the regular lads and catch up on stuff. It's mostly plastering stuff, obviously. We do talk quite a lot on the old Discord server, on the old community. Sorry, I'm going to pop back there again. The community, yeah. A Discord Ask the Plasterer community, where we can chat on there. You can chat audibly. You can video chat if you want to. You can put pictures up there. I've tried posting video, but that's a little bit difficult on there. But you can do video chats with all the other guys all at the same time if you wanted to, but it gets a bit confusing because everyone talks at once. It's really difficult not to. But great for chatting to me, asking me any questions, popping up a picture of where you're working or what the issue might be. And if I can't answer it, any of the other guys we'll get back to you probably and answer that if they're not rushed off their feet as well. But even though we're all at work, we still tend to have time to stop and help out or make comment or just say we're having a crap day. We're having a crap day, and that makes us feel better. James, I read that cream of tartar can act like extra time. Is this worth a go? You can use that, mate. It's just the good thing with extra time and stuff like that is that you know exactly how much you're using for how much plaster. It's a bit more trial and error using tartar until I suppose you get the hang of using that gear. But I wouldn't want to put some in anything and find it doesn't work because I haven't put enough in or put too much in. The stuff just doesn't go off for too long, which is the only reason that not the only reason I use commercial stuff. I would rather use commercial stuff than put the old cooking ingredient in there, just because I know where I am with it. But you can experiment with that, mate, if you want to. It's what some of the other guys use it. Watching the other YouTube spreads, Eric? Yes, mate. I mentioned I did a big shout out. What's that big shout out? I did a shout out to quite a few of those on my. If you subscribe to the channel, or even if you haven't, if you go on my channel and you look at the community, I think one post down to the one me plugging tonight. I put a few other spreads on there. There's Stuart with his yeah. With his, I get confused, mate, because I'm getting old. With his Facebook group he's also got a great YouTube channel, great for teaching, great for learning stuff. Got Blaine Gray, who is he's probably got the biggest following as far as I know for English spread. He's got about 45,000 subscribers, something like that. He's a great teacher. He's got some brilliant videos and a really nice bloke. Got Joel, who does a lot of rendering and stuff in a completely different part of the country. Rendervate is his YouTube channel. If you either watched last week's Ask the Plasterer or look at my community link at the top of my YouTube channel. There's a few of them on there, and they've got their tags as well, so you can click on those and go straight to their channel. But yeah, there's a lot of other good spreads out there. I like promoting other spreads channels as well, because if you don't, if you can help other people, you get helped out in the end in the same way. So it's always worked for me. Dan, aha. What are you ha-ha-ing to, Dan? Oh, I learned it from flipping a full trowel of muck on the top course of brickwork. Oh, okay, mate. Oh, oh, Kirk, yeah. Oh, Kirk Goldbart, I can't remember his surname, mate. He's been going for donkey's years. He's probably one of the first YouTube spreads that I watched. He is good, mate. He's a proper family man. I do love him. He's a good crack. And he's a good plasterer. But it's watching him that made me realise how much different types of gear you could get in over in the States. I mean, he's truck, mate, and it's like it's a lorry basically. But in America, they've got bigger roads, make more space, and you can have like a lorry, can't you, to have all your gear on. But he's funny. But yeah, sorry, I was digressing. I realised watching him how many different kind of mucks you can get. Like, oh, there's a muck that goes off in 20 minutes, half an hour, an hour. You could buy whatever kind of speed you want your plaster to go off. You could literally buy it in a bag, and it'll say it goes off at that speed, and you just get that bag rather than having to mix anything in to try and slow it down a bit or speed it up a bit. Yeah, and he's worth watching. Kirk, yeah. Yeah, I can't think of his surname now, so I can't kind of plug his channel. But if you look for Kirk on YouTube, Kirk the Plasterer, that's not what his handle is. But yeah, if you search for that, he's definitely worth a watch. He does some brilliant stuff. But yeah, some of their gear is completely different to ours. But you can pick up a lot of tips and hints from watching him. Dear. That's it. Oh, Giordano, that's it. Kirk Giordano. He's a big family man, and you'll see that from a lot of his videos. I think the whole family, including his missus, works for the company, and yeah, they'll sit there in their garden, like like a big happy family that they are. And he's had a YouTube channel for years. And he is good. I do like him. Look him up. He is another guy definitely worth watching. Yeah, I forgot about him. I'll probably watch one of these later now. Now you brought him to memory. Yeah, I've got another hole in the cup, sorry. That's it. I don't know why I keep getting holes in your cup. Americans just ball and tape the joints, don't they? They don't skin like we do. No, James, yeah, you're right. It's all drywall out there, mate. They do have a bit of drywall. They don't really do skimming. But when I've seen them do, they call it a popcorn ceiling. I think it's only them that call it a popcorn ceiling. And they do, and then this guy that I was watching, sort of how to plaster over a drywall that's got popcorn ceiling on it, or Artex as we call it, and he literally sands the whole lot off. I thought, oh, and then to patch it up, he goes over it with the drywall gear, with like a spatula thing, and then he lets that dry till the next day, and then he sands it, and and stuff like that, yeah. But yeah, they just yeah, it's all drywall. I mean, I watched some of that to pick up some tips, because I always thought with drywall, if you've got tapered edge balls, that's absolutely fine because it's set back slightly. You've got no problem with the tape coming through the gear that you put on the joint. But when you've got two butted joints with drywall, trying to feather those out, and if you do feather them out and they're just painted, the chances of them showing through are really good. So. But yeah, another thing with the houses over there, so many of them are timber framed. Not in all of them, but in all the states. Some states they do brick housing, but a lot of the states they put so much work and money into the foundations, which are, I mean, more than we do, from what I can tell. And then they just stick a timber framed house on top of it. And you kind of think, why have you gone to all that bother doing the foundations? Like, nothing's going to move those, and then putting a timber framed house on top when you're prone to having hurricanes and tornadoes in your neck of the woods. But there you go. You notice it's always the brick built fireplaces that are still standing when you see those news bulletins that where a tornado's gone through. They've gone, yeah, flattened all that the whole town, and you can see these like brick built or stone built chimney breasts are still there because they're built of brick as opposed to wood. But anyway, I'm going off at a tangent there. But yeah, I'll tell you another brilliant channel. He's not a plasterer. Is the Essential Craftsman. Fantastic chippy. I say he's an old guy. He's 2 years older than me, and I think his son got him into doing it on YouTube. And when I started following them, they had about 400,000 subscribers, if that. And he's got over 1 million now. And but he is good. He's good. If you anything to do with carpentry, mate, he's definitely your man when it comes to tools and how to tie knots in string and all sorts of weird stuff he does. It's fantastic. So yeah, have a look at that if you get a chance. Essential Craftsman it is. Oh dear. Alright, how are we doing for time? Oh wow, man, it's late. I should have packed up already. 8:45. I'm getting out of here, guys. Oh dear. Right, thanks everybody for coming. Who's ever still watching? Guys, appreciate you coming every other Monday for the old jib jab and asking questions and all the rest of it. Anyone else who's watching, thanks for coming to Ask the Plasterer. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time on Monday from 7 o'clock, going to about 8:30. So I should not 9:15, it's about 8:30. And the podcast of this goes out every other a few days after the actual live stream's gone out. So there's lots of those you can look at. Yeah, cheers James, cheers Mark, cheers Dan, thanks again Dan. Cheers that guy that told me kind of messed up my list a bit there. And PK Plastering, Mark, everybody else that's been along tonight as usual. Fantastic guys, thanks for that. And yeah, check back next time, mate, and I'll see you then. And Dan, I'll be having to pop over to your channel, mate, as well. And yeah, I'm going to find that old off button and leave you guys in peace and go and let my wife know that I'm still alive. And saying that, she could probably hear me shouting through the floor. Although we're in a pub, aren't we? Right, okay guys, until then I will see you. I might see you on Discord. Yeah, get onto my Discord community server. I'll see you soon. Here we go. Cheers guys. See you later.